Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Yes, we made it a couple of minutes past 2, but that's all right. That's why I always tell y'all it's going to be around 2 p.m. because sometimes things happen and, anyway, it's called life. So let's let those notifications go out. And as usual, let me go ahead and get ourselves set up here for moderation. I'm still looking into that. As far as live chat moderation, I'm getting around to it. I just want to let y'all know that, yeah, for those who have been on this journey with me, with us, and you know what we are, yeah, the self care that we've got to be in. So thank you for your patience and understanding as I continue to get y'all some, you know, content as usual. And the thing is I want y'all to also remember that anything that you might be wondering about regarding your radio frequency and things like that, don't hesitate to reach out about that too, because we've got some more God revelation coming left and right regarding all of that, because how the enemy does it on the societal level, it's how, oh gosh, yeah, it is how these narcissists get turned into mind numbed robots. Exactly. All right. So in the meantime, as usual, let me go ahead and check the. Exactly. All right. Here we go. And so if you'll notice that I've got the light over here, it's reflecting back there. So just hang tight with me. And you know what? Let's go ahead and get these formalities out of the way, shall we? Yeah, because I know that there is a pack of wolves, right? That's just kind of like trying to see if they can. Y'all ain't bothering nobody, just so you know. Hey, Chris. So the pack of wolves that keeps trying to invade. We're just laughing at you because we keep on keeping on. All right, so there you go. Let's get the formalities out of the way. Thank you for understanding. I've got to tell the algorithms, y'all know how we roll. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance. That's right, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency poisoning for healthier living. Yes, trauma healing and spiritual growth occur with God wisdom, basic scientific facts, tried and true technique, and more here and at CHAAcademyBTBW.com. The link to the Academy is in the description below. Some of y'all may need to copy and paste the link to view what CHAAcademyBTBW.com offers to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. Yes. All right, you all. And I highly encourage you to also check out the Patreon channel. I just have the Chris, fellow warriors, let's not. Yeah, don't give them the attention they want in the chat, okay? Don't give them the attention that they want. All right, just don't. We got to learn together to just ignore them. All right, ignore them. Rebuke in the name of Jesus. Okay, rebuke in the name of Jesus, and just turn it over to God. All right, let's turn it over to God. But narcissists love that thermostat. Ooh, yeah, didn't you know? All right, so for those of you who have joined us on the Patreon channel, you know how I have shared with you that salt is the body's thermostat. Okay, well, on the societal level, with the radio frequency poisoning, that's how the enemy is manipulating our body's internal temperature. Okay, that's a whole nother ballgame. Again, on the Patreon channel. All right, so we're going to talk about how the narcissist inside the home, inside the office, basically any environment that has a thermostat, right? That has an air conditioner and a heater. Well, they love that thermostat. They love to be in control of it. And I'm going to share with you all a real world thing that I witnessed, because it started to become a bit more obvious, the more that God was revealing to me. Because every single time the female Jezebel would complain about it being cold, right? So yeah, the female Jezebel would complain about it being cold. And what does the cold temperature typically do? Exactly, causes muscle tension. I'm going to tell y'all something, that the devil is always after our body's normal circulation, because it is through, and this is not a secret, this is out there. People know this is simple biology. But I am bringing you all this from experience as well, because of the simple fact that I know I'm not the only one, but this is my second go around with detoxing from radio frequency poisoning. The difference is the environment that I was in, okay? Those two Jezebels did not have the wherewithal to, they didn't have the wherewithal to rig up like what the ex-psycho did. So the devil had to send another Jezebel posing as, one of us, to try and see if he could get her to see if it could trap as many metal molecules from here, the top part of my body, wanted to trap as many metal molecules, because that Jezebel knew I was going to have to get metal staples in my head, right? Yeah, more electrocution. As you can see, it didn't work. It's only contributing to the heightened awareness. I can bring it to y'all. See, that's the thing. God flipped that thing, using it for his glory. Glory be to God. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm just getting more aware of things that I can help y'all with, because this is huge. Okay, this is huge when we learn about how the autonomic nervous system gets conditioned to respond certain ways. And God revealed something to me today. Yeah, it's that when I was bouncing back and forth between hotels, that's when the conditioning because I was still using battery operated grooming tools, and the metal, yeah. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. So even though I know it's not a threat, that autonomic nervous system ain't got a clue. See, our biological body, it knows, okay? It knows only certain things, right? It knows what the responses to a fear would be. It knows what negative impact have been, let's just say, whatever happened to them. Okay, so basically, because I had a little extra weight on the top because of that poorer circulation that was occurring. All right, yes, because when you tighten somebody's bra strap as tight as you can possibly get it and then drag them downstairs, that's going to mess up the circulation. All right, because it's going to put the autonomic nervous system in not just a state of shock, but a bit of a state of slumber, in which the enemy thinks that my autonomic nervous system is still under that slumber. No, it woke up a while ago. Oh, yeah. All right, anyhow, I know that the enemy hears us, but he ain't listening. I want y'all to know that. That's why I tell y'all the progress, okay, that we're making, because we know that the enemy hears us, but he ain't listening. The enemy thinks that I would not start to go through the awakening of that autonomic nervous system until about a year. And God's like, the enemy's stupid. God hastens it on his time. Isaiah 60:22, glory be to God. Because he reveals, right? We're paying attention to what God revealed, the connection between this and that, all of that. So we got to remember that it is through proper circulation that our body can do what? That's right, heal. Think about it. Okay? Not just physically, but yeah, we can heal from trauma too. Because I'm going to tell y'all, the first time that I got on the blood type diet, that's one of the things I started gaining was heightened awareness. because we were getting, yeah, think about the, toxins inside the body basically just serve as a right, and just kind of clouds our thinking, and you feel sluggish, you feel drained, so you add radio frequency poisoning on top of that. And then your body is getting heated on the inside, and your biological system knows that it ain't supposed to be that hot in there, and so it's trying to get rid of excess heat right through the top of the head and the bottom of the feet. The research is out there, y'all. That's how I found it. It's that the two places that the body will eliminate the most excess heat is the top of the head. Again, for whoever needs it, when you start to feel the tingling at the top of the head, that's a normal part of the detox process. And so God told me that's where we're at. Okay, that's where we're at, is for the body to do that. But I was like, okay, yeah, because I remember the previous season of that. It was very brief. Okay, mainly because the environment that I was in at the time didn't have but one big LED light on the ceiling, and that was in the kitchen, and it was not on all the time. So my body was able to, and so now listen, I got more about all of this for you all on Patreon. Okay, but I've just given you a glimpse of what God revealed to me because it affects our normal circulation. So, because that muscle tension, right? That's why the enemy needs to see some sort of muscle tension. If he can see muscle tension, then that lets the enemy know that we may or may not be getting the nutrients that we need to get through proper circulation, and that we may not be healing. You know what I'm saying? Remember, the enemy, the devil, does not want people to heal. God wants us to heal. So this is why God brought this as part of our package deal with the ministry to push back against that RF, because we have choices, right? Okay, so we just got to start making better choices. Right? That's a big way to combat it. We're not going to escape it, but we become aware of, okay, why? And I asked God, I said, why is it not? Because I should be feeling that more often, like I am right now. So I should be feeling the body getting rid of the excess heat. I should be. And it was happening here and there. And I was like, all right, so there's something else that's going on. And so God pointed to the kitchen light up here, just more like natural light, right? But it's still LED. And so he was like, well, it'll be kind of difficult for the body to continue trying to release that excess heat if the top of my head keeps getting cooked. Right? Okay. So, right. And that's why, for whoever heard it during the BBTV show yesterday, Drive By with Michelle, whoever heard the announcement that we did not have our Saturday Bible study, right, on the 6th of January, that's why I had to go get some flashlights. Okay. Yes, I had to get some flashlights and a few other things to hunker down and stop cooking the top of my head. No, it's okay, Chris. It's okay. Yeah. And we just got to, it's a journey. Okay. We're all learning this together as far as when we go live. Okay. Because this is why I tell y'all, got to break that dependency on external validation big time as part of the trauma healing. Because when you get in your purpose, you're going to, for those of you who are called to create content and go live stream, you are radio and TV personality. Yeah, you're going to have to. Yeah, so now we're learning how to I ban them and block them no matter what. I know they keep coming back, but listen, eventually, remember, the devil has the attention span of a gnat. And so we just keep on keeping on, all right? And we're going to work together at not even giving them the attention. That's all they want. They just want an audience, okay? That's all they want to do. And they want to try to sow discord in this growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. So it's, how we have the physical body, yes. Okay. Right, you got the physical body and a spiritual body. 1 Corinthians 15:44, yes. Right, and then within the same person, but the physical body and the spiritual are for the most part unknown to each other. Exactly. That's the point. Thank you. This is why God awakens us, and he awakens our subconscious so that we can become aware, right? Because in order to purge the subconscious, you got to be aware of it. And what is part of the subconscious? The autonomic nervous system. It operates in the subconscious. The enemy knows this. That's why he targets it. Because if he can condition it to continue to react with certain fear responses to things, that's going to keep the body tense, right? And excess salt and sugar is going to produce more mucus pockets, and there you go. It's just going to continue on. And so each time they have an ache or pain, they're going to, because their head is hot, or inside of their body is hot, and so they won't be thinking clearly, right? They'll buy on impulse, and they'll be easily tricked, right, into fearing a minor ache or pain instead of going, hold up a second, what's going on? Wait a minute. How can I be fine all morning and then all of a sudden? That don't make sense, right? See, chosen one, when we get in God's reality, this is how it goes. We start to realize, hold on. Because God tells us we're sown a physical body, but we're raised a spiritual body. Raised a spiritual body is the key here. Heightened awareness, spiritual awareness, being raised a spiritual body. Becoming aware of the physical in ways that we never could have imagined before, because God had to reveal it to me, and I'll bring it to y'all so that you can start to go, okay, hold on a second, how's my body responding to that? Because your subconscious is awake, and so to purge it, you've got to be okay, because I have to purge that association to certain body movement now from the autonomic nervous system trying to tense up on the backside. It's intentional. Jesus, right? He intercedes for us because we're aware. So I will share with y'all the good news. Like, I'm over there, right? I'm at the sink. The autonomic nervous system, okay, doesn't know anything else except the fact that me walking to that bathroom sink to start putting on the makeup, the only thing it doesn't know I'm putting on makeup. All it knows is the motion that I'm making across the eyes. What did I used to use? Right, a battery-operated grooming tool, right, to keep the brow area groomed. And also another one for the chin and things like that. Well, we've gotten rid of those, but the autonomic nervous system doesn't know that. It only knows the motion, okay? It also doesn't know that there's no more metal there, right? It also doesn't realize. All it knows is it got conditioned to respond to that. So the autonomic nervous system is anticipatory also in nature. So, for example, because it got conditioned a little from standing underneath that LED light, right, at the lower vibration, where at the rectum, okay, as I'm doing certain things, washing dishes, that physical body don't know that we're washing dishes. I mean, we know. It's only responding to the movements associated with a projected threat, okay, because of the heat coming from down. So that's what's going on. And so we have to purge the subconscious to break that association with those movements to the autonomic nervous system. So it can, we have to like recondition it. And it can be done. We're doing it. Jesus is interceding because what to do. Right. It's like, I'm aware. And so I'm like, all right, we know we're walking on over there. The physical body knows too. And so it wants to start, right, in anticipation. I haven't even gotten there yet. And the light's not even on. So there's no threat, right? There's only a perceived threat. But because it doesn't know anything else, it made that association, got conditioned. I have to go, okay, hold up a second. I'll go and I can sense it, but then automatically it relaxes now because Jesus is on the job. Jesus intercedes. Remember, God tells us that in His Word, that Jesus intercedes on our behalf. That's the spiritual body interceding. You see? Raise the spiritual body, sown the physical. The physical have no idea. They don't know each other. The spiritual body and the physical body don't know each other. So thank you for making that wonderful and brilliant point, because that is. So, right, when we say the demon of complaining, we're talking about more than just a remark. Right. It's more than just a remark about it being cold. Okay. It is cold in here. It's just a statement of observation. Complaining about it is, man, why's it got to be so cold in here? Something to that effect. Okay. That would be considered complaining about it. So, right. And then there's other subtle ways that they'll do it. What's that thermostat set on? It feels chilly in here. Oh, I've heard that one. I know y'all have too. And so what that does is that'll get, if there's another narcissist, usually there is, in the environment who's in control of the thermostat, well, they'll go and look at the thermostat and see what setting it's on, then like pretend as though they're adjusting it for their narc partner, right? To try to make their narc partner more comfortable, when in reality, the narc doesn't want to see that. They want to see pain and suffering, right? So if they're sitting there all cold and stuff like that, it gives off the perception that they are suffering. Let that sink in. Yep, and there you go. We do have to be very careful when we are fully healed to not go right back to what God delivered us from. That's true. Very true. Okay? Because the true freedom is in Christ. Absolutely. The evildoers are very vile. And then the on and on. Yes, it will. It's just going to take a little bit of time. See, God revealed, I want to share this with y'all, okay? Because that was the first round of conditioning that occurred because I didn't realize I was electrocuting myself with those battery-operated grooming tools. And so because that occurred first, that's going to be a little bit longer than we are, right? Because this right here, the kitchen, remember the bathroom, that was during hotel for like a whole month. We were back and forth before we got in here. So we've got a whole month of conditioning going on before we even got here. And then what happened was, exactly, as I started getting settled in and things like that, I didn't realize that that was affecting that. I was told there was no metal there. And then I'm like, are you sure? And then I went to get a second opinion, lied to again. Now I know all about that, right? Okay. So while the metal was in my head, right, it was just keeping my body on the inside really hot. And so making me, right, want to try and trick me into thinking that I'm heavier, trying to throw me off balance. I'm too aware of that, right? It's like I already know about radio frequency and what it does from inside. And so it's like we're aware of that and we know that that's what's going on because we already knew, after we did the forensic analysis on our own body, we already knew what the enemy was trying to do based on the fact that I quit smoking cigarette, right? That there would be some chemicals that were going to come out, right? He wanted to keep those in there. He wanted to keep the metal molecules that got in there in the old environment, right? With the radio frequency being increased. So we knew he was trying to keep all of that from getting eliminated as it's supposed to. Okay, so that's a big thing right there. So we knew all of that. So we're aware of it. That's how God was revealing to me. Oh, that's why this part of the body, I'm going to let y'all know something. If you go through bouts, this is why I encourage and advise to take it easy when you go through the detox. All right, it's so important, okay, as part of the process, to don't rush. I know you're feeling better. I know you're feeling better. God told me that today, just after not being cooked for 24 hours. Well, for at least 16 hours or so, on and off, right? And my body's trying to get rid of the excess heat. Told me this morning, he says, I know you're feeling better, but I need you to stay slow. He said, I need you. He's like, I know you're feeling better. I know the human and physical side of you stupid. Okay, we're not stupid. It's what we're stubborn. Okay, y'all, we're not. Yeah, we're definitely not. Chosen ones are not stupid. This is why we get this wisdom. Okay, but God's like, I know your flesh is stubborn because we get to feeling better, right? And all of a sudden we start going, because chosen ones are go-getters, typically fast movers. But God says we ain't got to do that no more. That's what the enemy wants, because if we're not aware yet, there could be something else that's gotta get some circulation to it, but we don't know it yet. Okay? Because the detox process is a process. Now, how will you know when you're finished? You won't have any more like hot flashes, right? Your body won't have, exactly, your body will not have unusual bouts of heat. Yeah, okay. For women, very particular, and for you males also, there's areas of the body where you will know. For example, in my case, right, as I'm doing the makeup thing, right, this thing still don't know, right, that this is not a threat, but Jesus is interceding. So with the ice pack there, that helps keep it cool, because what that does is it flips on a switch for the metal molecule. Okay, remember that's the area of injury. Okay, so while much of it is healed, yeah, but the metals haven't gotten out yet, so there's still gonna be heat, and excessive salt is still working its way out. See, as long as the top of my head kept getting cooked, it was becoming more difficult to get rid of the excess salt. See, this is how it's got to work, and the heat that goes with it from the inside. So yeah, it can cause you to feel, lightheaded. And I know the enemy was hoping that I would have some sort of a heat stroke, but nah, that's the thing, y'all. My entire life, the heat in me don't typically have an issue, right? Anyway, because I think of Jesus. If I go outside and it's hot, I think of Jesus walking across that hot desert. I'm like, if Jesus can do it, so can I, because do all through Christ who strengtheneth me, right? There you go. So, being aware of that, okay, that you might experience the illusion of feeling heavier than you really are because of a heat pocket. Let's just call it that. That's still lingering in an area, most likely where there's some fatty tissue. Remember, metal molecules are not lipid soluble. They're not fat soluble. That's why we have to get some ice on there to shrink them suckers to get them back into circulation, because they are water soluble. Get out the way they're supposed to. So there's going to come a time, but that's going to take a little bit longer. Okay, so just know that, y'all, that if you experience because I did before I put the ice on there, as I was starting to make those movements, it flipped on the switch and that got hot, and all of a sudden it felt heavier than it really is. So I said, oh, we need the ice packet. So there you go. And it really, yeah. Yep. And then the spiritual being brought into play. Exactly. It's when they complain, it is sort of a naggy and never happy voice. Exactly. That spot on. Okay, and I basically how did I manage to quit smoking? Okay, I'll share this again for anybody who needs this inspiration. It was mental, right? Well, I had already had a vape because of the place that I used to work at that didn't allow cigarettes on the property. So okay. So anyway, I already had a vape, but it was just for that. Well, over time, I was getting in my mind like, okay, it's getting time to quit. I just know it is. I want to quit. Been wanting to for some time. I said, okay, we're fully healed from trauma. I don't need these to cope. I mean, it's like I don't need these to cope anymore. Because that's what it was. Come on now, for some of y'all, listen. Many of us turn the thing to cope with this crazy. God awakens us, we can get fully healed. Okay. And so we realized, I said, okay, even though I was still in that environment, what kind of really lit the fire under the bum, if you will, is that they were bringing oxygen tanks and stuff in, right? And so I was like, oh, it's cold outside. I'm not complaining about that. Not that I mind, but I did not want to have to, every time that sucker was on, I didn't want to have to be forced to go outside. That was one thing. And then I said, you know what? This would be a really good time to quit because I'm good. So how? Well, it was the time I made the decision like a week, okay? Like a week before we actually started transitioning to the vape a bit more. Because I realized something. Hold on a second. Because there for a while, when I was done with whatever I needed to get done elsewhere in the house, and I was done, no more cigarettes for the day, but I had some work that I wanted to get done, upload a video, edit, what have you, or whatever. Well, I'd go to my room, close the door, I had the vape. So I was already making the transition. I was like, okay, we're already doing that. So let's keep doing that. And then I have maybe 4 packs left in a carton. And so what I did is mental. I told myself, I'm not buying any more carton. I did that for several days. No more carton. Then I took it down to no more packs. I got down to having 2 packs left. And I said, okay, we're not buying any more packs. Not buying every day. Repetition. Okay, repetition. I got it in that subconscious, but I'm purging that subconscious. And I said, I'm not buying any more packs. I'm not buying any more packs. Over and over again. So I used the vape to get off of the cigarettes, and it worked for me. Some of y'all might find, for those of you who are ready, you might find another method that works, and that's fine. But I just know that's what worked for me. And so then, right after I got here, I knew it was time to get off the vape. I didn't need it no more. I was like, there's no reason. It served its purpose. It helped me get off the cigarette. Now I got to get off that. So same process that I went through, mental, but to break that mouth, to have it, I stopped taking, while I was in the hotel room, I stopped taking the vape with me out and about running errands. Yep, I would not allow myself none of that in the car no more. And so it just took a little bit of time, but it was not even 3 weeks after getting in here that I just started leaving it behind. Wherever I went, I never took it with me out in the car, right? So I already breaking that habit. And then I realized after, I woke up and I was getting around. I had it in the cupboard. You see, I didn't have it where I could see it. I wasn't even thinking of it. And so I'm getting my tea, and another hour goes by. I open up the cabinet to get something out, and I went, oh, that let me know we're done. It was like, I didn't even think about it. I forgot it was there. So I took that and the juice, and I put it in a Walmart bag, and I put it in a dumpster, and been done since. So that's to give y'all the info, because it really is mental. all the way around. You got to want to. That's the thing. You got to want to. And yes, our flesh is stubborn. And then me started I was 16 when I started smoking cigarettes. I was 16. I was peer influenced, if you will. Oh, sure. I mean, so I was 16. And then while I was driving truck, I want to say for about 2 years of that, I didn't, but I did a different type of nicotine, which not a good alternative. And so ended up going, right, after losing a tooth, ended up going back to smoking. I want to say that was, we started driving truck at age 24. Yeah, okay, 25, 26. I was around 27, 28 years of age. I went back to smoking cigarettes. So, right. And then finally quit at age 45. Yep. So, there you go. Yes, you guessed it, Chris. As a trucker. But I had I had influence for that too. So, yeah, no, it wasn't a 2-pack a day. I may have averaged one pack a day. And so, there you go. That was the average. And so, for whoever needed that, there you go. All right, that's your inspo. Again, I don't mind sharing that for whoever is on that journey. Okay, because it can be done, but you got to want to. You see, and so right, that was at the beginning of 2023 when I quit. Yeah, to give y'all a time perspective. And no, I actually, you know what? Yeah, in 2023, early, I would say it's April, around April-ish. Okay, so March, end of March into April, somewhere in there. It was before she passed away. For a good, it had to have been at least a good month or two before that. So March, definitely March of 2023, somewhere in there, that we transitioned over to the vape. And then July, August, and then it was August of 2023 that we got rid of the vape. So it's just a short time there for that, just to help y'all out. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I know. I had an influence for that as far as the tobacco part. And so, yeah, that's not too bad. All right, so we covered that. So now I want to circle back around, if you don't mind, because that thermostat control is a big thing for narcissists. Okay, it's just another tool they like to use to manipulate the body's temperature. Do you know why? Right, because of the worldly garbage that going from hot to cold causes what? Yeah, something that doesn't exist. What a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Because that fluctuation between hot and cold is associated with the symptoms of radio frequency poisoning. So they love that thermostat. It's a game to them, y'all. You know, these narcissists think life is a game. They don't realize that the life we're given is for a purpose. Only chosen ones know that. The narcissists, they get programmed to conform to this world. We're chosen ones don't. See, God's chosen one, we're not. No, he awakens us at his appointed time after all. And so we want to remember that if they are manipulating the thermostat in there from hot to cold, that's why. They're playing a game. They're manipulating the temperatures inside the environment to elicit negative responses. Oh, yeah. I caught on to that as well because, right, he liked to keep it a little bit cooler than usual, hoping to get me to complain. And so I was like, nah, I just went and got an extra blanket for the bed. Didn't say nothing. I wasn't about to participate because I could see what they were doing. You know, I said, that's what I'm saying. Once we become aware of what they're trying to do, we know what to do about it, right? The enemy knows that. So, right. You know, that's a good point, too. Thank you. That is exactly how the narcissists run their relationship. They are hot, cold, hot, cold. That's right. Yep. They give you the cold shoulder and then they're yelling at you. I mean, it's just that constant manipulation. So it's not a coincidence they like to manipulate that thermostat. Right? Or control the thermostat, if you will, to manipulate the body's external temperature. There's the difference. Right? Narcissist inside the home, building, whatever, that has an air conditioner and heater. The narc that wants control of that is controlling the external temperature of the body. While at the same time, if they're sitting in front of a television and the volume's up and it's spilling out its lies, the internal body temperature is being manipulated with radio frequency poisoning. I'm going to let that sink in for y'all. So you see how all of that plays into the traumatization inside the game of narcissism. So the narcissist is going to try to control, remember, they're trying to control all things external, right? So they're manipulating the body's external temperature, while in the spiritual, on the societal level, the enemy is manipulating the internal body temperature with radio frequency poisoning. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A relationship thermostat. Yeah, that's a good way to put it right there. Yep. They are like children. Of course, they're toddlers in adult bodies. And so they want control of the thermostat like a kid with a new toy. Absolutely. I mean, think about how the narcissists see their targets, right? As a shiny new toy. Yeah. So that's not a coincidence. So again, for whoever is going through the detox with us on this journey, just remember, take it slow, one day at a time, and try your best not to get overly excited. I know. It's like we're feeling better, and so yeah, we're going to get excited. We should get excited again for what God's doing and showing us and things like that. But I want y'all to remember it's very, very important part of the detoxing, because the enemy would love for us to have to go and get some. Exactly. Okay, so we don't want to be, because you never know what's underneath all that. It is where over on Patreon, okay, Chris, I'm going to share your point that you made because it's so spot on, okay, with one of the videos where I'm breaking it down for you bit by bit, okay, about how the autonomic nervous system gets conditioned, how it all begins. And so you made a very good point about the fact that years of the autonomic nervous system conditioning, right, with us being unaware of it. So you don't know what might be underneath, right, from a previous injury or what have you. We don't know yet what might be underneath what might have been repressed, if you will, underneath all of that numbness, so to speak. Okay? We don't know. And so the enemy is hoping that, that's right. So that's why God had me go through first a season of extra cushioning, because God knew. I was following God's steps because I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I know you do. This is why it's so important. So he had me going through a season, okay, I want to say it was for at least for a few months, of extra cushioning. So areas, because he knew where the bruises were that I couldn't see yet, or feel for that matter. I knew there was some there, but I didn't know where. Now, he had me go through that season of extra cushioning, mustard, and then, right, okay, and then once he got me off the extra cushioning, because they started to show, okay, by the time the bruising started to show, the aches and pangs, if you will, associated were not severe. It's just letting me know that's where it's at. Okay, so now we're done with the extra cushioning, and we go to the ice pack. Okay, so it's a process. Of course, my circumstances are a little different this go around because I have a incident that went down that caused some of those. Okay, or basically all of it. And so as my autonomic nervous system was waking up is when he had me going through the extra cushioning. So that's for anybody. If God tells you to do some extra cushioning, you better pay attention because he's got the inside scoop. Okay? God's got the inside scoop. What I mean by extra cushioning is, maybe ace bandages, maybe extra pillows. Like I had an extra pillow that God had me strapped to the back of this chair during a short time. Right? Okay. Extra cushioning. Yeah. So God knew that that's where one of the bruisers was. Okay. And then, of course, one up here that got revealed a bit later. But I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. I was like, I didn't even think of that until later on. But he revealed that to me because I didn't know all that was underneath there yet. So this is the point I'm trying to make for y'all, is that from years of autonomic nervous system conditioning, we don't know what's underneath all that just yet. Because as you start to detox from the excessive salt, you'll notice some stiffening here and there. And that's why we want y'all to let God slow you down. Okay? And don't panic. Stop and take an assessment. Did you ever have a past injury there? Did you ever, what I'm saying? It's just letting you know that there's some salt in those areas. Why it's stiffening a little bit, that your circulation, once it starts to improve, it's going to flush that out. Okay? But you don't want to cause anything, right? You don't want to cause any additional anything, because the enemy would love for you to think that it's worse than it really is. But again, discernment. You know your body, or you're getting to know your body. Listen to God. So if he's telling you it's about time for a little bit of extra cushioning or whatever, but self-care, absolutely. You're going to go through a lot of different self-care techniques during the detox. It's the natural part of the process. Okay, so I'm here to tell y'all. So I've got the ice pack to freezer. Yes. Okay, I've got the towel to wrap it in. Okay. And so I have a little area on this pull out where I can lay back, right? Yeah. Ice pack. Okay. Just to give y'all ideas. It's okay. 10, 15 minutes at a time if you need to. Okay. Because you may have whacked the elbow and there's a bruise that hasn't surfaced yet. You don't know. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all, when you go through this, you have to be aware. You have to be mindful of what you're doing. Don't try to rush the process. Okay? coming from experience here, and how many times God has had to step in and tell me to slow down. All right, because it's natural. When you start to feel better, you start to feel lighter, right? As your body continues to get rid of the excessive heat and salt, you're going to start to feel lighter. You're going to start to feel better. You're going to feel like you want to go, ah, and then, okay? But you're not done yet. So how do you know when you're done? Again, like I said, your body's internal temperature, your body's thermostat will be regulated once again, and you will know. Okay, you will know. You will not experience any more stiffness. You'll be able to take in, instead of reducing the sodium that you take in, you can increase it a little bit. In other words, if you know what your baseline is, like mine, 800 to 900 milligrams, that's my baseline. And how you find that, for those who are interested, how you find your baseline is by just don't think about the food itself just yet. Take note of the sodium content that's on the packaging, okay? Or you can research it and then write that estimate down. That's all it is. So, for example, if you've got a can of tuna and you're going to make some tuna salad, right? Inside that can, let's say you got yourself a can of the low sodium. So it says 140 milligrams per can per serving. Okay, so that's 140. And then you can go to use mayonnaise. On average, you're looking at 70 milligrams per serving. So now you're at 200 and... Right. Okay. Yeah. Have to do math in my head for a while. But yeah. Okay, there we go. It's 210. I just wanted to make sure I didn't want to tell y'all wrong. Okay, so that would be 210 with the mayonnaise and the tuna itself. And so let's say that's all you do. Add a little garlic, maybe some dill weed, and then some onion and celery. Okay, you're good to go. So now you know you got 210 milligrams right there, your average. Now, if you add hot sauce, Tabasco is 35 milligrams per serving. So you just, that's how you'll do it. Based on what you're eating, just look at the sodium, write it down. Okay, not being concerned with the food part yet itself, but just to know, okay. And do it with your snacks, what have you. Your drinks. Watch out for store-bought juices and drinks. Look at the sodium. I found out, by the way, y'all, I didn't look at it, but on club soda, 85 milligrams of sodium inside of some club soda. I said, why? I'm dumping that out. Look, I don't need that. But why? Whatever. I guess that's needed to make the bubbles. Okay, then we can do without. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of salt, 2,300 milligrams. Right? There you go. That's a good way to put it. The old hurts coming to the surface when you go through the detox process. So that's why you got to be mindful of that. And so, it really comes down to, ideally, you want to cook your own meal so you know what you're getting exactly. Okay. All right, so 1 teaspoon of salt is 2,300 milligrams. That's interesting. Because that's not very much at all. And that 2,300 milligrams, it supersedes what a worldly organization recommends as a daily intake of 1,500. Yeah, that's like way more. So it's like, So for those of you who don't want to do the baseline, you can typically start with what they recommend, 1,500 milligrams. Try not to go past that. So there's another way to do it. But if you find your baseline is above 1,500, then you certainly want to make your baseline 1,500. You want to start there. Or it may be a better idea if you, let's say your baseline is 3,200, because it's easy to take that in one day. So let's say that's your baseline is 3,200 milligrams. Maybe baby step it down to 3,000, 2,800, then 2,500. You know what I'm saying? Back it on down until you reach 1,500. Because you also don't want to throw your body into a shock. I want to tell y'all something, that detoxing from radio frequency poisoning, because it is metal, all right, it's metal molecules that are very similar in chemical makeup that are found in toxic substances, okay? So you will experience, right? Here's some more stuff. You will experience hearing and seeing things that are not there. This is not gaslighting. This is from the excessive salt and the heat. All right, I need y'all to understand something. When the narcissist gaslights us, that just means they're telling us that we did not see what they did, that we did not hear what they said when we did. That's them gaslighting us. What I'm telling you all is through the detox process, because it happened here. It's just the Godhead and I, right? There's no other person in here. Okay? There's no other human being that's in here. So as I'm going out, right, I'm going around about my business, if you will. The Heavenly Father's business, actually. So I'm getting my tea, right? I have not put these in yet. I get my tea, I get around, I'm waking up, taking that assessment, doing the daily self-check-in. I don't tell y'all to be doing stuff that I'm not still doing. I do that daily self-check-in. Come on now. Yeah. Right? So, well, obviously going through the detox process, so you definitely want to do that. Like, where are we at today? All right. Because I need to know, okay, does this area or that area need a little more self-care than there, or what? Where are we at? You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing. Okay. And so we do that, and let's face it, because of the excessive salt and the heat that my body's now finally starting to be able to release a bit more of, there'll be certain sounds, and I know they're, and I'm like, because all that is just from these, it is a side effect from the excessive salt and the heat on the inside of the body with the metal toxin, okay? So basically, you're going to have some hallucinatory moments. Part of the process. Don't freak out. That's what the enemy wants you to do. That's what God revealed to me, because I was like, why would I be? Oh, of course. And God said, yeah, because the enemy wants you to be afraid of non-existent things. Right? Yeah, because there's no other, I don't have anything in this apartment that has a long beep to it that I know of. Well, maybe the hearing aids, if I take them out with the battery thing, they will buzz, but it's a different sound. Or, yeah, just other little things, right? That I actually can hear without those in. So I was like, okay. But I know it's not real. You see, that's the thing. That's that awareness that we know it's not real. And so, also, like when I have my chair, I got my jacket hanging across but I had it in a different location. So I'm over there fixing my lunch, and out of my peripheral, because of the excess salt that's still in the body, out of my peripheral, I went like, oh, okay, my jacket. So I want y'all to know that those are normal parts of the process. Okay, normal parts of the process. You're not, right, you're fine. But the enemy just trying to instill fear, right? That's what normally would do, right? Yeah, before God awakened us to him from all of that. That, yeah, if we thought we heard something or saw something and it made us jump, well, salt does that. Excessive salt makes a person jumpy. Absolutely. God revealed that to me the first time I got on the blood type diet and started exactly. The first detox go around, right? So that was revealed to me early on. So I've known that excessive salt makes a person jumpy. This is why the narcissist used to always sneak up on us and make us jump, right? That's fear response. So yes, a little bit of a hallucination might take place just here and there. It's not going to be forever. It's just for as your body is eliminating that excessive salt, and along with the heat, and then along with the metal toxins that are also responsible. Yes. Sound like I might be still a little jumpy. Yes and no. It's I'm aware of why. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm aware of why. That's the thing. When we become aware of why that's occurring, it doesn't instill fear. We're just like, oh, okay. We know why, right? We didn't experience any fear. It's just the salt made us a little bit jumpy at the fact that this got moved and I wasn't even thinking about it. It wasn't in its usual spot. So it just kind of threw me off a little bit. But it did not instill fear. There's a difference. See, that's why I'm saying that heightened awareness, right? As we go through to get out metal toxins and excess salt and things like that, we're going to go through these things. And then we realized that when we went through them before, they did kind of make us fear something, right? So I get a better understanding now, and y'all do too, as to how come these narcissists do the same thing. Because I remember the ex-psycho roommate would come to me. By this time, I'm on the blood type diet, so I'm already detoxing. But because he's not, I remember him coming to me and asking me if I was hearing some ringing somewhere. I was like, no. He would also ask if I saw whatever it was he was trying to describe. No. And so I was like, okay, now I understand why. Because if the excessive salt and then radio frequency poisoning over time, right, with the metal toxins on the inside of the body, is going to cause that. Exactly. So yeah, we're in control of it because we're aware of it. We're in control of ourselves and our responses and our reaction. That's all we can do. But it comes from the heightened awareness. And so I just wanted to get on here and remind y'all, you're going to hear me advise you on that a lot because of the simple fact that God steps in and tells me to slow down as we go through the process too, because again, a lot of our, old injuries or old spot of injury, okay, are going to have salt and metal particle inside, mucus inside any fatty tissue that may be around that area. And so, yeah, if you take a look at your ankle and you see a little bit of soft tissue, right? It like right there, like your ankle. See if I can't. I'm not going to try and draw it. But if you look at your ankle, right, and you see that there's some, if there's a little puffing out, right, and it's very soft, right, that's fatty tissue. Believe it or not, that's a little bit of fatty tissue right there. So if you've ever had a sprained ankle or something because we played basketball, okay, so, yes, and it's just an old, dull ache that you will experience. It's a normal part of the process. This is why we tell you, hang tight, okay? Just remember something. All right, so there you go. You want to be mindful of those things so that you don't turn the wrong way too fast. Okay? That's what the enemy would hope for. Never forget that. It's a big part of the reason why he's got to keep people, keep the heat on the inside of the body to trick the brain into thinking a lot of things. And especially trick them into thinking that something may be worse than it really is. Tricking them into thinking, oh, hey, I feel great. Boom, and then, right? Because that's how it happens. Want to try and trick people, because over time, that amount of heat on the inside of the body keeps just generating, and then the autonomic nervous system being a little numbed, it'll be more accident prone. That's what the enemy wants. Okay? So we don't want, chosen ones are not, no, God's chosen ones typically are not accident prone. That's why most of the time when we found ourselves inside the M matrix, it's because of a narcissist. That's right. Because we're not, we go for, discernment, okay? Depends on what it is. The bone, ankle, joint. Yeah. You know, the bone that sticks out, that's called the ankle. Okay, around it, there's a little bit of puffy tissue there. There's fatty tissue. So, yeah. All right, so, good call. And so we've done our hour. Oh, yeah. And that's fine. But, I just like to give y'all this information because it's very important. And if you don't mind, I'm going to check something real quick. Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for your patience. Go get a tissue. Okay. Listen, it's all part of the process, okay? Because as the body is eliminating toxins, yes, you're going to find, yes, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, all right? It's a natural part of the process. But all part of how the enemy needs to, the enemy wants to keep as many as he can. Well, not just traumatized, of course. But think about this, right? Okay. How it all begins, right? Got to condition the autonomic nervous system, right, to respond. Mainly fear responses, right? Yeah, to have fear responses because the enemy is going to instill fear, right? Okay, so you made a good point, Chris, about that the babies are typically born with a couple of different fears. I did not know that, but fear of falling and fear of loud noises. And that fact, you're correct. Because that's what God brought to my attention about the first 2 years of my life. He wanted to tell me that they didn't know I had no stimulation with audio. Yeah, see, it's like, okay. But yeah, I say that's a godsend because, God protected. He protects all his chosen ones, but I do count that as a blessing in disguise that I didn't get these until I was 3. But anyhow, conditioning the autonomic nervous system, that has to occur as part of the grooming for tolerating abuse later. Think about it. Because if our autonomic nervous system stays somewhat numbed, if you will, operating in the subconscious, we're not aware of it, that muscles are getting tensed up in places that we don't know, and so our body's not getting proper circulation because of the tension. Well, what do we know is associated with trauma? Tense muscle is a trauma response. Think about it. a physical assault is going to leave muscles tense, right? Because it's a physical trauma response. Well, all that narcissistic abuse, right? Not knowing who, right? Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde, who we were getting, gets us walking on eggshell. And so over time, that does what? Exactly. Jaw tension, rigid shoulder tension. Yep, rear end tension. All fear responses. And so that prevents proper circulation throughout the body, especially to the brain. We are in a spiritual battle for the mind. And so when we think about weather manipulation between hot and cold on the societal level, you can, because basically what we're doing is you take from the individual level how the narcissist is obsessed with the thermostat inside a house, for example. And then we can, here's our word of the week at CHA Academy, by the way. We are starting that. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, coming. Word of the week. Iron sharpens iron at CHA Academy, btbw.com. That's right. We'll take that information, that information from the observation that, okay, they are obsessed with the thermostat inside that environment. Extrapolate that to the societal level, right? I mean, branch out, right? You can connect the dots to the bigger picture. And we go, okay, that's what we do. At Consulting for Heightened Awareness, that's what we do. Chosen One are natural analysts by nature. So like, okay, I can see how they're doing that on the societal level to continue the cycle of traumatization. That's right. Autonomic nervous system in a state of slumber, right? Get them to consume more salts and sugars that contributes to the production of mucus that needed to house metal molecules from radio frequency and other areas, okay, and other things that we ingest. So we are, okay, that way they can manipulate our body's internal thermostat, while the narcissist and the individual level manipulate the body's temperature externally. That's something to let sink in here. So how do you get it regulated? You just make healthier choices. Healthier food choices. Pay attention to how much salt you are taking in, what we're exposed to. Reduce the amount of frequency that we're exposed to. That's all we can do. Be aware of it. And once you're aware of it, then you'll know what to do, right? You know what to do about it. And for those who don't, welcome. Welcome to Consulting for Heightened Awareness. Because part of the trauma healing, because let's face it, these narcissists out here, they are extremely traumatized. They like their traumas, many of them, but they're traumatized and trauma bonded to the world. And so they're the one, right, projecting all that out onto others. While on the societal level, humanity, right, those narcissists are being mind controlled with that radio frequency. Whereas Chosen One, when God awakens us, yeah, that once the subconscious is awake, like I've said before. Okay, yeah, we're going to have fun with the word of the week at CHA Academy, y'all. Okay, so extrapolate, there you go. And just you'll see. Okay, you will see. We're gonna have some fun with that. And God brought that back to my remembrance, because I remember trying that like word of the day activity, and I don't recall if it, I want to say it was in one of those workplaces, but it could have been an undergrad. I don't know, somewhere where I was like, oh, I can bring that back. That would be a fun learning exercise for us to, because listen, we're purging that subconscious to make more room for God's wisdom, right? There you go. There you go. But yeah, so I can share with you all some of academia's neat words, if you will. Okay? And it will also help those of you who come to this channel and you hear me say slightly more sophisticated words like that. You'll understand. I often give you what it means. Extrapolate. Okay, but I'm going to give the actual definition, and then we're going to have fun using it. Okay? Appropriately. So there you go. Because it's all about learning. It's all about learning new things. Because we are unlearning old stuff, right? Okay. Yeah. And so I can share with y'all phrases and things like that from my educational journey as well. Yeah. All part of the fun. So there you go. Absolutely. You won't have to Google it when you get the email at the academy. Okay, when y'all get the email, you won't have to Google it. I'm going to do that for you. Yeah. And then if y'all think of a word of the week and you want to have that, well, let me know. Send me an email. Do it. Well, as long as it is acceptable. Okay. So there you go. I might bring a little bit more to y'all. So there you are. Really everything that we're up against in the spiritual battle for the mind, right? Because that's what radio frequencies use for mind control. And so that's what we realize is happening to the narcissist. They are being mind controlled. A lot of them don't know that. They're demonically possessed. They don't know that. And then we have to think about the fact that the enemy needs to target our body's circulation, because what do we have on this world stage that, a lot of people become dependent on? And the thing is, many of us, we stop allowing ourselves to get on that merry-go-round, trying to figure out what might be wrong. Like, fellow warrior, thank you for sharing. Because, a lot of us did. If we experienced this or that, and then we're like, well, I don't know what it is. I remember going through that. Yes, I do. Yeah, for a time in undergrad. We could not figure out what it was that was going on with my eyes, right? So, the eye doctors, we were trying to figure it out. I was on a merry-go-round. Eventually, it all cleared itself up and things like that. I came across the article. Wow. The ex-psycho was rigging things up. And at that time, I understood circulation, right? Because I had to take courses in my master's program that further explained it. Okay? In that forensic toxicology program. So I was like, all right, okay, I'm understanding how that works now. A bit more. And so we know we got to have proper circulation, right? For things to get where they got to go. But exactly, what does that mean? Now we get a better understanding of that. Because then I learned there were two places, again, in the body where circulation is. This research is out there. It's how I found it. There's two places in the body where circulation is not at its greatest, and that's the eyes and the genital. Well, while I was an undergrad in that little apartment, so I could work on campus, okay, all I had to do, I could walk to school and to work, which was fantastic for a time. So doing that, not knowing that the television, I was sitting on the recliner doing my homework, right? On the devices. Didn't know there was spyware on that. Absolutely. But I used to watch television before I knew that was part of the matrix and narcissistic abuse, long before I knew any of that. And so here I am with that thing, and I used to see some kind of like glistening, slippery type stuff oozing out of the back of that TV every once in a while, and it did have an odd odor. Now I know it's a metal odor. At the time, I didn't know that. I usually wiped it up and didn't think twice about it. And then that's right. My eyes started to kind of like, hold up a second. And so I went to the eye doctors. I had things looked at, like this and that, and they were giving me these drops, those drops, and couldn't figure it out. Is radio frequency poisoning interfering with the circulation? That's right. Remember, I went to that one clinic, right? They were trying to tell me something because of, right, because I knew automatically when I started to notice it a little bit. I knew automatically. I was like, okay, that's just circulation because of what happened, and then radio frequencies. It's like, you already know this now. So when I went there and they want to try to tell me I got some virus I don't have because it don't exist. And I remember telling him, I'm like, so I believe that's just the lack of oxygen getting there. Oh, no. I'm like, oh, thanks for confirming. Oh, yeah, he got all uppity, like all nervous because we know the truth. So just know that, y'all. Yeah, the eyes and the genitals, those are the two areas of the body where circulation is not the greatest. And so when you are being radio frequency poisoned, right, you're taking an excessive salt, that's just basically that's going to disrupt, that's going to disrupt normal circulation to those areas, right? The enemy knows that. Absolutely. And so, okay, because by law, I would have had to have been told that years ago if that were the case. We know it's not. Jesus cleans everything. And so we don't tell ourselves. We don't believe the lies of the Matrix anymore. So I just wanted to think the technical term is gunk. Thank you. We do the word of the week at CHA Academy. That word longer than 4 letters preferred. Yep, okay. Okay, I don't even know about anybody else's game of word of the week, but okay. I think the technical term is gunk. Oh, shot by the eyes. Yeah, let me tell y'all something. When you wake up, that gunk, I want you to pay attention to something. It's not be gross. This because your body is getting rid of metal toxins. Make note of the color. That's a color connection, okay? Make note of the color of that gunk. If it's greenish or yellow, greenish, yellowish, that's metal. Your body's getting rid of it. Just some more food for thought. Don't freak out about it. Just know that, okay, your body's eliminating some stuff. Just like the stuff that comes out with what called acne, same color. It's not acne, it's radio frequency. Metal's trying to get out. Let it out. Okay, let it get out. Okay? I know some people be like, what? Yeah. What a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, right? So God revealed that. I had to unlearn that about myself. So I started making the color connection. So there you go. The world will call it pus, what have you, I don't know. But the coloring of it all. And it's kind of crazy because it look. Yeah. I'm going to show y'all. I have, that's a greenish yellow. And then there's your darker green, right? To give y'all, okay, a heads up. The color is very close to that greenish yellow. It is very, very close to that. Again, the greenish yellow. It might be a little bit brighter than it actually is, but very close to that, maybe a little bit more dull. But that's a common color that represents a metal toxin. And then sometimes you get the darker green, because darker green will have an even darker green dot in the middle. So, a little more food for thought. That if you see those things, that's your body getting it out. Let it out. Okay, let your body get it out. So, there you go. Oh, gunk, the TV stuff. I thought you were the eyes. Oh, well, it fits. Okay, TV stuff. Exactly. Metal toxin coming to surface. That's right. So, the stuff coming out of the back of the TV. Yeah, it was, like I said, I learned later, based on the odor of some other metal containing substances, I recognized the smell. Radio frequency poisoning and things like that. And we continue, by the way. I realized that's what it was that he had done. So he had been rigging things up long before I even got to that vacation property to be the live-in maid, so to speak. So he was already rigging stuff up. Yep. God revealed that to me. And I was like, oh. And being salt as a stiffener. Yeah. Remember, one of the other assignments of these narcissists is to send as many people into the matrix for treatment and things like that. That's one of the biggest assignments of the narcissist. Is to try and get us to become accident prone. Is to try to get us to become dependent on man like they are. That's one of their biggest assignments. Is to send as many into that demonic realm as they possibly can and try and turn them into a narc. So I'm going to let that sink in. All right, everybody? So there you go. But yeah, I'm leaving that food for thought right there. So we're going to jump on off of here and get y'all some stuff for CHA Academy, okay? Yay! Yes, we keep it coming. All right, everybody? So there you go. Food for thought. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing. All right. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let's Just Chat show. Streaming on the YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center. That's right. Wow. Combating radio frequency poisoning for healthier living. Trauma healing and spiritual growth occur with God's wisdom, basic scientific facts, tried and true techniques, and more here and at CHA Academy, btbw.com. The link to the Academy is in the description below. Some of y'all might need to copy and paste the link to view what CHA Academy, btbw.com offers to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.